Hi class, welcome back to our next session. I'm glad that I could be here with you today. So, today we are going to be going over adjectives and adverbs. Now these are two more parts of speech. What are adjectives? Adjectives are a part of speech that directly affects the nouns. They modify them. Modifying the noun means that it is helping to emphasize or give more detail to the noun. While directly affecting the noun, it makes it clearer to those of us that are listening or reading which noun it is, what kind of noun it is, or how many of the noun there are. So you could say, he is the tall one. You could say, the blue paper. Or you could say, there are 5 workers. Another important rule for adjectives to remember is that adjectives will follow verbs of the 5 senses or appearance. They will modify the noun that comes before the verb. So, for visual to see, we have our noun, our verb, and then our adjective. The verbs that represent these 5 senses and then appearance are your feelings, your touch, your taste, your smell, your sound, look or sight, your appearance, and how you're seeming. An example we have of this is the sentence, you look pretty. So the noun that is being modified, or that is being directly related to the adjective, is you. Our verb is look. That relates back to the sense of sight. And then the adjective is pretty. So let's remember that it is an adjective because it is relating back to you. You are pretty. Now, we have some example sentences for adjectives here. The first one is, the boy is a high school student. This is an adjective because it's telling you what kind of student the boy is. The next sentence is, that is a cute cow. Which cow is it? It's the cute one. What kind? A cute cow. Our next sentence, he is a quick thinker. Now, it is actually addressing the word thinker and not the pronoun he. So, what kind of a thinker is he? A quick one. Our next sentence, the soup feels hot. Let's remember the slide before where we had the rule where you have the subject noun that's being acted on, the verb that deals with one of our 5 senses, and then the adjective. So, how is the soup? Hot. The soup is hot. And then our final one, the notes taken in class were helpful. What were helpful? The notes. The notes were helpful. So this will be our subject noun here, our noun that's being modified by the adjective. Taken is going to be our verb. Now we're going to move on to adverbs. What are adverbs? Well, adverbs modify verbs, adjectives, and even other adverbs. In many cases, when you're looking at sentences to try and find them, they can stand out because you can add an ly or a ly sound to the end of an adjective. An example of this would be quickly. He is quick, but he works quickly. We're changing it to the verb. It's no longer that he is quick. It is the fact that he is working quickly. So in this way, we can see whether we are working with the noun or the verb, which this word is changing, and that can help us figure out whether we're dealing with an adjective or an adverb. Adverbs, you can also remember, clarify how, when, where, and why. We have some examples of adverbs here in which the adverbs are underlined. Our first sentence is, he walks slowly. So again, we see the ly at the end of the word, so it's easy to know that that is our adverb in the sentence. Now he is the noun, but walks is the verb. So let's break this sentence apart so we can see how it might not make sense. How is he? He slowly. No. He is slowly? No, that doesn't make sense. He is slow. That would make sense, but that would be the adjective. So when we've added this ly at the end, it shows us we are working with the verb walks. How does he walk? Slowly. There we go. Now it makes sense. So, for our next one is an example of how an adverb can work on another adverb. He walks very slowly. So again, our noun, or our pronoun in this case, walks is the verb, very is an adverb, and slowly is an adverb. This adverb is showing to the extent to show how much the other adverb is working. It is very slow. Now, for our next example, the dog goes inside. Where does the dog go? Inside. So, we have our noun, we have goes, our verb, and inside. This directly relates. We have he ran to escape trouble. Now this is all underlined because it represents an adverb phrase. An adverb phrase is a grouping of words that go to directly modify the verb. It shows us why he ran. So, he ran to escape trouble. He runs fast. So, we have he as the subject, but that's not what we're looking at the moment. Runs fast. Differences between adjectives and adverbs. So this is kind of a summary of what we've talked about to this point. Adjectives directly work with the noun in a sentence. Adverbs directly work with adjectives and verbs. So, what to think about as we're going to do a practice exercise next is the word that it's saying, if it's not a noun and it's not a verb, is it making things clearer for the verb or the noun? And once we determine if it's for the verb or the noun, we can see if it's an adverb or an adjective. A simple way of being able to pick these out of almost any sentence you say. So, this will be our exercise. I would like you to please find the subject noun, or the pronoun that's being worked on, the verb, the adjective, and or the adverb. Not all of the sentences will have the same components, but I would like you to please write underneath each of the words which they might be. Please take some time to do this now or pause the video. Wonderful. So here is our answer sheet. We'll go through them together. The first one is, Mingma sounds happy. So, our noun is Mingma. If we can remember from the last lesson, this is a proper noun. Our verb is sounds, and our adjective is happy. We use the adjective because this is a sense verb. It's a verb that deals with one of our 5 senses. Our next example is, she is an excellent soccer player. The noun that's being worked on is player. And then we have the adjectives excellent and soccer. So we can break this down as, what is the player? The player is a soccer player. That's the kind of player. How is the soccer player? An excellent one. Our next example, Pimba slowly ate his dalbot. The noun of the sentence is Pimba. Our adverb is slowly, and our verb is ate. If you remember the earlier slide, we had used slowly before as an example to show the ly ending being added to what would have been an adjective. And for our last example, we have, Anju is smart and solved her math problems perfectly. Now this was a hard one, but I believe that you can all do it, and so we'll work through it together now. The noun that the adjective of this part of the sentence is working on is Anju. She is smart. What is Anju? Anju is smart. And then we have our verb, which is solved. What did she solve? Her math problems. Problems did she solve? Math. How did she solve her math problems? Perfectly. And that's all for our lesson today. Thank you very much for coming in and for spending this time with me and learning these parts of English. I recognize that lockdown has been extended, so I just want to say, please stay safe. I hope that you and your families are well, and I look forward to seeing you for our next lesson soon.